Have you ever felt lonely even when your phone was full of notifications? Have you ever looked around and thought that I know so many people, but how many of them really know me? If you have, I need you to hear this. You are not weird, you are not broken, and you are definitely not alone. Because loneliness is becoming one of the major public health problems in our time, and it's quite strange because we are much connected than ever. We have Instagram, we have Discord, we have hundreds of followers, and yet millions of people feel deeply lonely inside. And honestly, that's terrifying. And before we go further, let me clear this one thing: being lonely and being alone are two different things. You can spend an entire weekend all by yourself and feel completely at peace. And on the other side, you are surrounded by your friends, you are surrounded by your colleagues, and still feel alone. Loneliness isn't about the number of people around you, it's the gap between the connection you want and the connection you actually have. And let me tell you, your brain takes this very seriously. In fact, researchers say that loneliness is like hunger or thirst. It's your mind's way of saying that you need connection. But here's the scary thing about loneliness: it doesn't just affect you emotionally, it affects your body too. In fact, the health effect of chronic loneliness are compared to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Think about it for a second. We treat smoking as a public health problem. But what about loneliness? It's not a thing in Europe or America or China. It's in India too. And most of us suffer through it silently. One of the Indian studies found that loneliness is not rare at all. It's very common in young adults and people who feel socially disconnected. Another article review of loneliness research in India suggests that the urbanization, migration, changing family structure, increased digital dependence may all be making people feel more isolated than before, which honestly makes sense because more and more of us are leaving our hometowns in search of work and studies. We are living in PGs and hostels, and we spend up most of our times online only. And slowly and slowly, without even realizing it, our social circles become smaller and smaller. Maybe you have friends, but you cannot call them at 2 a.m. in the morning if you have some problem with you. And maybe you know people, but how many of us are coming to help you or listen to you? Here is another part of the story I think we are not talking about enough, and it's men. They seem to be suffering in a particular way. Many men have fewer closer friendships than previous generation. They depend upon their partner to be emotional and to share anything to. But when the relationship changes, if that ends, they are completely alone and they realize that they have no one to talk to, no one to share to. Many boys grow up hearing things like grow up, do it by yourself. This can be done by you only. So handle it yourself. We become adults who know how to achieve things. But what we don't know is to ask for help. And the result, a lot of men are struggling quietly. And not because they don't want any connection, but because they don't know how to reach for it. Now, this isn't a competition. Women feel loneliness too, elderly feel loneliness too, and college students also feel loneliness. And almost everyone does at some point. But for many men, loneliness stays hidden because they feel vulnerability is equal to uncomfortableness. So, what are you gonna do then? First, stop treating loneliness as personal failure. Feeling lonely doesn't mean nobody loves you. It doesn't mean you are socially awkward. It doesn't mean you are broken. It just means that you are a human too. Second, stop waiting for connection to happen automatically. Friendship doesn't survive on memories, they survive on efforts. Call someone, join a club, or text someone, play a sport, attend that event, be the first person to reach out. Because chances are someone else is also sitting, waiting for someone else to text them first. And finally, learn to be vulnerable. Because real friendship doesn't always start with talking about crickets and movies only. Sometimes it starts with you saying to them, honestly, I am feeling a down lately, or I am struggling lately, and someone replies that I am too. If you have been feeling lonely recently, let this be your reminder that you are not alone. You are not in this battle alone. It's a quiet epidemic affecting millions of people around the world. Loneliness isn't permanent. Connection can be rebuilt. Friendship can be rekindled. And sometimes all it takes is that one message or one phone call. one honest conversation. Maybe after this video, send that text. Tell them that you are missing them or you are feeling lonely too. Talk to them, call them, because opposite of loneliness isn't being surrounded by people. It's feeling seen. And I think every single one of us deserves that. If you have loved the video, give it a like and share it with your friends and families, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel.